Hey gang, thank you for being here. Well, we did it. We got to 35,000 subscribers on the channel. Thank you very much for that. For everyone who's subscribed, we have something fun coming up next week, which will, in fact, hashtag embarrass Harris. So if you aren't subscribed yet, click the little bell, subscribe to the channel, and be on the lookout. Now, in the meantime, hello, I'm Chris, and we're here to talk about Week 9 waivers. As always, we're recording this show before the Monday night game, before Buccaneers or Giants. So if anything changes in the waiver order or the priority or different players or whatever, make sure you check out harrisfootball.com. The Tuesday podcast will have updated waivers. For now, let's get started by looking at the potential waiver adds in shallower leagues. So this list of players, they're owned in between 1/3 and 2/3 of Yahoo leagues. So you can see that as of my recording this, Philip Lindsay just barely squeaks in, and he is worth owning in all leagues. It's not like he's dominating touches over Melvin Gordon, but I mean, he's just simply been more effective. And in that platoon, it's at least an open question which guy you'd rather start. I'll get to Damien Harris in a second. Zach Moss is now officially in a timeshare with Devin Singletary, and I don't know, for the moment, I think I prefer Singletary, but it's a developing situation. JaMychal Hasty, we've done film on him on the channel. You never know which Niners running back will get hurt. I think Hasty starts next week. And then Dallas Goedert, really disappointing in his return Sunday night, but at that position, he really should be owned in all leagues. Okay, let's take a quick look at Damien Harris, Patriots running back. Big statistical output on Sunday. 16 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Why, he has definitely won the New England starting running back job, right? I mean, not so fast, but before we get to that, let's just look at the tape. To be honest, this is sort of the honorary play of Damien Harris. Hit it hard, run into stuff if it's there. He's definitely more power back than shifty back. Though on the second play here, it happens fast, but you can see him cut. He stumbles a little trying to keep his momentum going forward. This is his touchdown, and here's what it looks like when he gets a lane. He's a very direct player. He's 215 pounds. He's very similar to Sony Michel, except if we watch this run back again, you can see there's probably a little more oomph, a little more speed, a little more life in his legs when he gets going. He makes the safety take a bad angle, coming down and trying to make the tackle. Physical, spinning, not at all slow in a straight line, but not really going to make a ton of dudes miss. Just a physical running back. So not a special player, but not a slug. And at the end of this run, after he's got his momentum going forward, okay, like you can see a little change of direction there at the end, and it makes the tackler overrun the play and gets him a few extra yards. But if this kind of workload looks familiar to you, it should. In games where game script allow the Patriots to stick to the run, this is what the good Sony Michel game would look like. Wow, he touched it 16 times? Great. Unfortunately, he only played the third most snaps among running backs on his own team. The reason to add Harris, even in a shallow league, is that the Patriots are basically out of it now, and maybe they will transition to more of Damien Harris as a feature runner. The reason to be a little skeptical is that it's never what they've done before. And in games where they can't keep running, he's probably going to be about as useful as Sony Michel typically is. Okay, we'll get back to the Week 9 waivers in a moment. But first, look, it's my Lawnmower 3.0 from Manscaped. They are our sponsor today. Is it slightly naughty that we're sponsored by a body trimmer specifically designed to reduce the massive thicket of hair below your belt? Maybe a little, but then again, ask your partner whether it would be a welcome change to have your nether regions be less out of control. This lawnmower works great. I use it. Heck yeah, I do. It's got a ceramic blade. It's got skin-safe technology. You'll never get a cut down there, which is a very good thing. And Manscaped has tons of personal grooming products for guys that will make you smell and feel better. You're supporting the sponsors on the show is how you can support the channel, keep the channel going. So seriously, ask your partner, hey, dearest, would it be more pleasing if I shaved down there? I don't think you're going to get a no. Check them out at manscaped.com and use the code HarrisTube to get 20% off and free shipping. It really helps the channel. Go get one, and thank you. Okay, now let's turn our attention to some waiver ads in deeper leagues. These are players who are owned in 1/3 of Yahoo leagues or fewer, and I'm going to count them down. At number 5, I have Curtis Samuel of the Carolina Panthers. So here's the thing we probably won't be getting from Samuel too much anymore, the backup running back thing. He scored rushing touchdowns in back-to-back games. It illustrates what he is as a player. He's just quick, he's fast, he's all speed. We've always known that. Seen from the end zone, this is a legit, really nice cut to the left as he's trying to squirt his way into the end zone. Samuel's a wideout, but he's really fast, and they will use him some as a runner even when McCaffrey comes back. You also probably remember this play from Thursday, the flea flicker, obviously intended to get Samuel. He's the one. Get him open on a deep over route. It's the single high zone, right? That's the zone beater, that deep over route, and it's a really nice throw. It's a really fine catch. Now, if we're adding Samuel, it's not for volume. It's for third down work. The other better options in Carolina's passing game get more attention on third down from defenses, right? And then Curtis Samuel gets to run against guys like rookie corner A.J. Terrell, split wide right here, and that's pretty bad coverage on a 3rd and long, and Samuel sits down and makes the catch and converts. It's not a shock that third down catches tend to come more often from slot wide style receivers, right? It is kind of a shock to see Samuel in the category of some of the most accomplished slot receivers in the league. And actually, 5 of Samuel's third down catches have come like that last one we just saw, where he lined up out wide, not in the slot, and still caught a third down pass that converted for a first down. And just remember that even with Christian McCaffrey presumably back this week for the Chiefs game, this kind of play has always been on the table for Samuel as well. I still strongly prefer DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, and the only reason I would consider adding Samuel is to play him this week against KC when points will be needed for upside, but it could work out. Okay, at number 4 on my list, I'll put Seahawks rookie running back DJ Dallas, who it makes sense to look at a little bit of his film. Obviously, we don't know whether Chris Carson and or Carlos Hyde will be back, but Sunday, it was all DJ Dallas. 53 snaps for him, 7 for Travis Homer. We never turn up our noses at 2 touchdowns. Good job out of you, DJ. That's just fine. But the reason that DJ Dallas isn't higher on this list, even with 2 touchdowns, isn't just about the Seattle depth chart. Up the middle, Dallas, I don't know. He doesn't look like the tackle breaker that we thought he might be coming out of college. Around the edge, clearly he's looking for a hole here, but he could sometimes wind up seeming a little ponderous. This was his best run Sunday, and good wheels to get the tackler shooting the gap to miss. I guess, I don't know. I don't know that I see that's a special run other than it's okay speed. And listen, every running back gets stuffed, and you can't rule a guy out from being a good player because he got stuffed a lot against a good 49ers defense. But again, don't see him doing much here. It seems like his best quality is decent speed running directly toward the edge. They wound up ruling him just out of bounds here after initially calling it a touchdown, whereupon he got stuffed on the goal line. I'm not looking like he had a lot of great ideas. Now, I'm not slagging the kid. He's still got the potential chance to have a big workload week 9 in a good matchup in Buffalo. I'm just not burning the highest priority on him for waivers or spending all my fab just because I didn't love how he looked in this game.
Hey, it's Dave Piper with a producer's note. Since Chris recorded this segment, the 49ers announced George Kittle suffered a broken foot and will miss 8 weeks.
Okay, my number 3 for this week is a bit of a stretch, but it stems from this catch from George Kittle in the same game we were just looking at. It's a hell of a catch in a game where the Niners are already getting totally blown out, but you'll see after it, he plays tough, but Kittle winds up limping off and being attended to, and the key here is that the 49ers play on Thursday against the Packers. So, guess who might be back in the spotlight? It's this guy, Jordan Reed, on IR since week 3 with a knee injury, but started practicing again last week. And as of right now, you'd have to believe he at least has a chance, as of my recording this, to start on Thursday night. So you've always known that Jordan Reed's a really good athlete. watch this route out of the slot. Like, you're not going to compare this. This is not an amazing route, right? It's not like watching Devontae Adams like we did on the channel last week. But Reed is also doing this at 240 whatever pounds. There's never really been a question whether he's a good enough tight end to start in fantasy. And the question has always been whether he can stay healthy. And he's not Kittle. Few people are Kittle. But he can run the little square in and be open and then hopefully do something in the open field. If you're thinking of adding Reed because you're desperate at tight end, obviously don't spend that much and track the news. It's possible he's not ready to be activated from his injury yet. It's also possible Kittle's injury won't keep him out on Thursday night. And if both guys miss the Packers game, you could try Ross Dwelley as a desperation option. Okay, at number 2 on this week's list, with news that Mark Ingram probably has a high ankle sprain and looks questionable for Week 9 against the Colts, it's time to take Gus Edwards seriously. Yes, I prefer J.K. Dobbins if he's available in your league. I'm a Dobbins enthusiast, I think you know that, but Edwards scored the short touchdown Sunday and he looked pretty good overall as well. This is pretty much what we expect from Edwards in terms of like up the gut, big dude. Sometimes the seas will just part for you and you'll make a play, but if we spin it back and actually watch it from behind, I mean, that's not an elite change of direction. Those are two-footed cuts where, he really has to slow down to change direction, but pretty good vision to get to the left and staying alive long enough to see the big hole and then getting through it. Pretty much a repeat here. The reason we don't love players like Edwards for fantasy is that he's kind of only got one thing. He's got the power thing, and otherwise he's going to have a lot of space, or he's going to get clobbered. Double-footed cut that finds the hole, slows down to cut, and then once he gets downfield, Dalvin Cook, J.K. Dobbins, they would have something for an open field tackler like that, and you can see Edwards in his brain say, hey, I should be quick, I should be able to make a move, and then that is just not him. Just taken randomly, we'll show you a couple runs, what it looks like when the seas don't part. And again, you're not going to get mad. Every running back gets stuffed. But Edwards is sort of like a latter-day Todd Gurley. You'd better give him some room to get going. But just like latter-day Todd Gurley, Edwards is a very strong human being who usually gets in if you give him a carry from the 1-yard line. Now, of course, Lamar Jackson might actually be the RB1 on Baltimore, and certainly I'm going to rank Dobbins higher for Week 9, but especially if Ingram continues to be out, Edwards is worth adding if you're struggling at running back, and who isn't struggling at running back? For me, though, the number one waiver add of the week is probably the Colts' Jordan Wilkins. You might not remember, a couple years ago on the channel, we showed some flattering things about him, film-wise, and he punted those chances away with fumbles. Sunday, I don't know. I would be quite alarmed if I were a Jonathan Taylor enthusiast. Right away, first minute of the game on Sunday, Wilkins splits wide left. They put him in motion, sort of a trick play designed specifically for him, and he takes it 24 yards to get things off with a bang. Just notice the difference here when Wilkins is getting met by two guys in the backfield. I hope you can see the difference. Why someone like Wilkins is probably a more versatile player than someone like Gus Edwards. Doesn't mean he's automatically better for fantasy. We can't really know that. But he needs less to go right for him to make a positive play. Simply put, behind what's supposed to be an elite offensive line, it's possible the Colts finally found something coming out of their bye week. You can see this shotgun draw that's really more gap play than zone. I mean, we're showing it to you a couple times. It finally started to blast holes that just haven't been there for Indy, and it wasn't Taylor who was taking advantage, it was Jordan Wilkins. And here's Taylor. I mean, I don't see him doing anything wrong. This is essentially the same play, right? If anything, he might look a little faster than Wilkins, but that's what can be maddening about trying to predict this stuff. Sometimes the hole opens up for one guy and not for another guy, and it's not fair, but it just sort of happens. You can see this is a good run. This is Taylor again. It's a subtle adjustment to zag right without losing too much speed. But this sprinter, this huge play threat from college, you can see potential energy just crackling off this kid, but he just hasn't broken anything long as a rookie yet. And meanwhile, of course, Nyheim Hines was finally making big plays himself, something that's been unexpectedly hard for him, for this world-class sprinter through his 2+ NFL seasons. We also get word that maybe Taylor was battling an ankle injury by the end of the game, and he did not play during garbage time. So the upshot is, I can't promise that this is some sort of major changing of the guard. We don't know that for sure. We don't know what the workload mix is going to be week 9 against the Ravens. But if there's a chance that either because Taylor's hurt or because Wilkins just produced 100 scrimmage yards on 21 touches, if there's a chance that means the Colts have a new starting runner, it's worth churning out someone maybe you're not using on your bench. I think that's mostly what week 9 looks like here. None of these guys are absolute must-starts in week 9. I don't think any of the running backs would be higher than a running back 3, that kind of player. In fact, Reed might be the one you wind up starting if he comes off IR and if Kittle isn't playing on Thursday, big if. But as investments for potential future returns, I do not especially mind churning Wilkins and Edwards. I didn't even give you guys like Darnell Mooney or Jacoby Myers. Frankly, because while they have potential, Mooney keeps flashing as a deep threat, and Myers was clearly the target leader in a not very good passing offense for the Patriots. It feels like adding them is just adding one more name of wide receivers who you're just going to add to your list of players you don't know who to start anyway. But I don't think it's a terrible idea to add them, to add someone like Jalen Reagor, maybe, score a touchdown on Sunday night. J.D. McKissick, channel favorite J.D. McKissick. I think he comes out of his bye for Washington and winds up giving you a little something. There are a lot of honorable mentions this week, not a lot of sure things. I hope you will check out the podcast on Tuesday and every day. I do it 5 days a week, and we'll update the waiver list for you. I really hope you'll subscribe to the channel. That would help a lot. Leave us a comment and check out Manscaped, because honestly, that's how the channel keeps happening. If you support the sponsors, this was really fun. And remember, hashtag Embarrass Harris coming next week to this very channel. So make sure you subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button, and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.